Turning this off.
Hello, Dolphin fam. Enjoy your time with You Knew Under the Sea. You knew.
in. I appreciate you
Hello,
guys
SA.
being here.
Hello,
Thank
Bruce.
So yeah, we are going to be talking about the causes of paralysis now. Sharon, would you like to read the causes of paralysis?
Okay, let me see if I can get you real quick. One second. Let me see which one. If I can find the page that has it on there, the causes.
Okay. The WebMD has the cause of paralysis as well.
Okay, I know it's one of them. 1 second. I know we put so much information. Sorry.
It's okay. And everybody's saying hello to you as well.
Hello, hello, hello. Sorry. It's taking a second. BT sign and pull up.
Yeah, and while she's doing that real quick, the reason why I haven't been coming on live is no reason other than that my internet was not working. So I just want to let you guys know I'm back. They fixed it. We'll see how long the fix is going to last. So we'll see how this goes.
Okay, anyone could get paralysis, but it tends to first appear if there are in adolescence, like most likely to occur during, sorry, pop up, um, sorry, during early adulthood. It may continue throughout life. Um, the exact cause of sleep paralysis isn't known, but experts believe it is linked to sleep deprivation,
Mm-hmm.
despite sleep or an irregular sleep schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Research shows college students and shift in work are higher rates of sleep paralysis. A reoccurrence of sleep paralysis have multiple episodes over time. You can also be assigned to narcolepsy or chronic sleep disorders, um, char- um, characterized by overwhelming drowsiness during the daytime and sudden attack of sleep. Other sleep disorders such as obstructive sleep insomnia are also linked by higher uh, in indices of sleep paralysis. People who have mental health disorders such as post-traumatic stress disorder (PTSD), generalized anxiety disorder, or panic disorder also are most likely to get sleep paralysis as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it says.
Okay. So the
So
symptoms of sleep paralysis is inability to move your arms, your legs, your head, and your body. Inability to speak. Feeling of fear, panic, or helplessness. The sensation that someone is in your room. The feeling of being pushed down. Sense of suffocation. So a lot of people get these uh, different things. Like it's different people get different things. So you're gonna have um like this. It's I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like somebody like a black foggy shade. I don't know. It's kind of like it kind of sits over you, and it feels like and it's scary. When I tell you it's scary, it's really scary. That's what they mean by hallucinations because you actually think you're seeing something in your room that is not there. Hey, D Love, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you. Yeah, so that's what sleep paralysis. It's crazy because a lot of people get different things from their sleep paralysis. Not everybody gets the exact same thing. Um, so let me see what else they got. The causes also lack of sleep, sleep schedule that changes, mental conditions such as stress, bipolar disorder, sleeping
mhm.
on your back,
Hello, Dila.
other. Other sleep problems, such as narcolepsy or nighttime leg cramps, use of certain medications, such as those of ADHD and substance abuse. Those are other things that can cause your sleep paralysis. How is sleep paralysis diagnosed? If you find yourself unable to move, speak for a few seconds or minutes when falling asleep or waking up, then it's likely you have isolated recurrent sleep paralysis. Often there is no need to treat this condition. Check with your doctor if you have any of these concerns. You feel anxious about your symptoms. Your symptoms leave you very tired during the day. The symptoms keep you up during the night. Your doctor may want to gather more information about your sleep health by doing any of the following: ask you to describe the symptoms and keep a sleep diary for a few weeks. Discuss your health history, including any unknown, nope, I'm sorry, not any unknown, but any known sleep disorders or any family history of sleep disorders. Refer you to a sleep specialist for further evaluation. Conduct overnight sleep studies or daytime naps studies to make sure you do not have any other sleep disorders. How they treat it, the way they treat it is most people need no treatment for sleep paralysis. Treating any underlying conditions such as narcolepsy may help if you are anxious or unable to sleep well. These treatments may include the following: improving sleeping habits, such as making sure that you get 6 to 8 hours of sleep each night, using antidepressant medication if it is prescribed to help regulate sleep circles, treating any mental health problems that may contribute to sleep paralysis, treating any other sleep disorders such as narcolepsy or leg cramps. What can I do about sleep paralysis? There's no need to fear nighttime demons or aliens abductors. If you have occasional sleep paralysis, you can take steps at home to control this disorder. Start by making sure that you get enough sleep. Do what you can to relieve stress in your life, especially just before bedtime. Try new sleep positions. If you sleep on your back, and be sure to see your doctor if your sleep paralysis routinely prevents you from getting good night's sleep. So basically, if you feel like you got these symptoms that I'm saying that we're talking about here, um, yeah, you might need help. They might be able to give you medication for it, or it's just because you might have an underlying reason why you're getting sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is not like um that's not it's not really a disease. So it's not something they can help you with as far as like medicating you for it. But things that are underlining is what's why you get sleep paralysis. Can someone pass on from this? Okay, so from sleep paralysis, um, I've never heard of anything like that, but I'm sure that you know how they say like you could scare someone into like such a bad heart attack that they can pass from it. I wonder if it scares you enough to that you would pass from it. I don't know. Sharon, do you know anything about that? If anybody can pass from sleep paralysis? Sharon, are you there? Well, as far as I know, they don't have any. I don't have any knowledge of it, so um, yeah, I don't know anything about it. Sorry about that. I wish I had the answer. So this is another thing. This is seven. Let's see what it's called here. It's called Seven Facts About Sleep Paralysis to Avoid Being Scared Stiff. We've all experienced it. Waking in the middle of the night, often during a bad dream, only to discover that you can't seem to move as much
Mhm.
as you like to. It's like being trapped inside your own body. Your mind is aware, but your
I don't.
physical self
I'm not
seems
sure.
disconnected.
I'm not sure. I know that something to that sleep part. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can you hear me now?
you can't. Yes, I hear you. I hear you. Hold on. I'm putting it in the chat, in the private chat. I hear you. Go ahead. You can talk. Can you guys hear her?
Wasn't sure if you
Put a
could hear
yes
me or
in the
not.
chat.
No, I haven't heard of anybody that happening to anyone. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. But like I
Okay.
said, they have had experiences of people having a heart attack when someone scares them. That's why a lot of times they say don't scare people because you never know what their heart can handle and cannot handle. Um, Let me see. Your brain actually shuts voluntarily using use of the muscles during deep sleep to keep you from acting out your dreams. Points of BuzzFeed.com. That's where the points are, the information that they want to give you. However, with sleep paralysis, this mechanism remains engaged despite the fact that conscious brains is on. Here are 7 facts about sleep paralysis. Hold on one second. Here we go. You might be seeing things. One of the most troubling tricks your brains play on us during sleep paralysis is creating imaginary things that we believe are real, otherwise known as hallucinations. They seem believable because we are conscious, although our bodies are still asleep. This of this course can be traumatic, as many hallucinations are unpleasant nature. Our brain has a weird sense of humor sometimes. BuzzFeed notes that strongest hallucinations actually occur in this transition between sleeping and waking. All right, now let's see what the other one is. Next, number 2 of sleep paralysis is, oh, they have number 3. Where's number 2? Okay. Sleep paralysis is not a nightmare. Many people associate the feeling of not being able to move as part of the nightmare, but unpleasant images from true nightmares actually only occur when you're in a deep state of sleep. Sleep paralysis is essentially the opposite of nightmare due to when it occurs, you s- it occurs in your sleep cycle. WebMD notes that sleep paralysis only takes place when you're transitioning into a sleep mode, hypnotic, um, or coming out of it. Sleep paralysis is arguable more terrifying than a nightmare due to the fact that you're conscious yet seems helpless against any perceived dangers. 3, it's not a common occurrence. 4, it's the gateway to out of your body experiences. 5, some medications can cause sleep paralysis. 6, caffeine can be a culprit. 7, oops, sorry about that. 7, it went all the way up.
Hmm.
Try to remain calm. So basically, when they say try to remain calm, after several episodes of sleep paralysis, you may start to get accustomed to the sensation. Not to say it becomes more pleasant, perhaps just easier to cope
Accustomed.
with. Yeah, accustomed. Did I say it wrong? Accustomed? Sorry about that. The bottom line is that experts agree it's not life threatening and it will pass, however, terrifying. A frequent sufferer
You
of
said
sleep paralysis,
customized.
yeah, custom. Yeah. Frequent sufferers of sleep paralysis is cited in a catalog article, which details how he managed to take control of the situation. The yeah, subject it, breathed through, and it managed to wiggle a finger. After which their arms followed, and the episode ended. Following some deep breathing to relax, and he fell asleep uninterrupted. So basically, they're just saying to get some real good sleep, and that's how you try not to get you try not to get that. You don't want sleep paralysis. Trust me. So make sure you get your hours of sleep. Make sure that you're not stressed out before you go to sleep, because that's how you can get sleep paralysis as well. What were you gonna say, Sharon?
No, I was just listening. I don't know a lot about sleep paralysis other than the little I've read on this condition, but it
Yeah.
does sound a lot close to night terrors,
Yes.
you know. And like I said, a lot of things, sleep paralysis, night terrors. You do if you do have to, it is important to go get sleep, sleep study done on
Mhm.
these things. It's important to do have preparedness, night routines to help with
Mhm.
things like this,
Mhm.
so that you are prepared. Once
Yes.
being educated on these things are very important. If you live
Yes.
through this, I haven't lived through per se. Like I say, had the one experience with sleep paralysis, but
Mhm. D Love said it sounds almost like seizure without the movement. Yes.
yes, just like night terrors is exactly the same way too. Seizures with the movement, but it's night terrors.
Right. So yeah, that's what sleep paralysis is. The different things that can cause it, things ways that you can keep yourself from getting it. Hey Britt, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. Um, so that's why they tell you to get your sleep. Make sure you get your sleep. Like I said, when I did that 21 hours of work and I thought I could just lay down and go to sleep and not have this sleep paralysis was a shocker for when I found out that you can get sleep paralysis from not getting enough sleep. Definitely, you got to get your sleep for sure. For sure.
And it's just like I said, it's another way of saying that your body is overtired.
Mhm.
You, you know, like you said, you have been working all that time. I had just traveled from another state.
Mhm.
Different things.
Yeah.
Symptoms cause sleep paralysis. So if you even feel
Does
like you may have, but
Can you put that back in say that again? D Love, it says does what you've affected. Um like you want to know what does affect it? And let me see. The causes from what they're saying on here, anyone can get sleep paralysis, but it tends to first appear during the adolescent, almost most likely to occur during early childhood and may continue throughout life. The exact cause of sleep paralysis isn't known, but experts believe it's linked to sleep deprivation, disrupted sleep, or irregular sleep schedule. So basically, yeah, if you're not getting your sleep, you can get sleep paralysis. I mean, you need to get sleep. It's not something like you're definitely not going to get it. It definitely does. Does Okay, so does what you eat affect it? I didn't see anything about that, but I'm pretty sure if you eat late at night, like I've done that before. I ate late at night and I felt like I was having I kept it felt like I was having what you call it? The sleep paralysis. Because I guess you're not supposed to eat late at night because you can't really sleep comfortably, I guess you could say. So I learned that you can't eat late at night. I can't late at night sleep eat late at night because either I get heartburn or feeling like something's sitting on my chest late at night. So yeah.
Another thing also, like I said, major changes. If you're used to having one routine and your changes, so you changed over to college, you used to having one type of lifestyle, like I was
Mhm.
reading earlier. If
Mhm.
you're used to working day shift and now you work a night shift,
Yeah.
your jobs can be a change, major change in your life. If you're moving, you're used to living on the East Coast and now you're a West Coast and you have to get changed, or you're moving out the country,
Mhm.
and your body's having to adjust to that time.
Yeah.
It's a lot of different things can cause sleep paralysis too.
Yeah.
Not just that, you know, and like I said before, when we were eating medication, your medication can cause sleep paralysis.
Mhm. There's a lot of things that can cause it. It's crazy that a lot of people have it, and I don't know if a lot of people talk about it. That's just I've seen a few videos on on YouTube, but not a lot on sleep paralysis. That's why I was like, wow, I should do a sleep paralysis one.
And that's with all these different sleep orders. It's very important to go to your doctor and get that sleep study did. Your doctor,
Definitely.
you have to go to the hospital and spend the nights, several nights or whatever, or they have you go in the daytime. I
Mhm.
know with our situation, with our family, we didn't have exactly what our situation. We didn't have the sleep paralysis, but like I said, in our family, it was the night terrors,
Yeah.
and we had to do a night study and a day study just to see exactly what times it was, what was causing it, and different things like that. That's very important because they have to know what times it is, what is your peak spell, what part of the sleep realm are you in? Are you in the deep sleep realm? Are you in the first part of your sleep?
Mhm.
What part of your sleep realm does this usually cause this to happen in, and
Right.
stuff. Um, so all them things are definitely, and whatever the doctor tells you to do, if you have to change your routine, is it easier for you to have a better sleep with everything off? Maybe what you watched, that a lot of times can cause it. Maybe
Yeah.
you watched something scary before you went to
Mhm.
sleep.
Mhm.
That affects you what you sleep in. Maybe you watched
Definitely.
something that was too excited and your body couldn't calm down.
Yeah.
All them different things affect your sleep.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
Maybe you need it to be quiet. Maybe you just need some sleeping music like that. I don't, that quiet sleepy time music. You know what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say.
Mm. It says, how is sleep paralysis diagnosed? There are no specific tests for sleep paralysis, but a healthcare provider can diagnose it based on the evaluation. During the visit, you'll be asked about the symptoms, including what your episodes feel like and how often they occur, as well as your sleep schedule, including how many hours of sleep you get per night. You'll also be asked for a medical history, including any medications you're taking, whether you smoke or use alcohol or drugs, and or whether you have history of mental health disorders such as depression, anxiety, or PTSD. Your doctor may want to test you for a sleep disorder that may cause episodes of sleep paralysis, such as obstructive sleep apnea or narcolepsy. So there goes
Ye-
other things that they could test you for as well.
Yeah, they were saying certain mental health drugs is what you knew was reading earlier, and
Hello,
I had
Anne.
read earlier, can cause it as well.
Hmm. For sure. How you doing, Anne? Yes, for sure.
Hello, Anne.
So this is it says how to sleep, how excuse me, how is sleep paralysis treated? There is no proven therapy to prevent or stop episodes of sleep paralysis. However, there are some things that you can do to recover sooner. Some people find it that they, oh, excuse me, find if concentrate on small body movements such as wiggling a toe or finger, they can break the episode more quickly, making a great effort to move can also end a spell of sleep paralysis. You can also take steps to lower the chance of sleep paralysis occurring. This is what they want you to do. They're saying sticking to a set sleep schedule, limiting the number of distractions before bed, such as phones, tablets, and laptops.
Yes.
Optimizing your bedroom for sleep, including making it cool temperature and dark. Relaxing before bed, such as taking a bath, listening to soothing music, or practicing deep breathing or mindfulness meditation. Avoiding alcohol and recreation. Oh, excuse me, can't even get the word out. And recreational drugs.
One thing I do know about the few sleep disorders that I have studied or had encountered,
Hmm.
routine is very important. A good sleep routine, even if you don't have a sleep disorder, a
Hmm.
good sleep routine is very important. Just like
Yeah.
you have a sleep routine for your children,
Hmm.
you should practice getting into one.
Yes.
You know, having a certain time that you do stuff. If you have to put yourself on a schedule, this time we do this. At this time, I say, goodbye to electronic devices. This time I'm putting down, how we like to go to the YouTube. We
Hmm.
like to be on our social medias. It's time to wind that down. Put
Right.
our phones on silence at a certain time, or only family, unless it's an emergency. At this time it's time to have, some people have to go down to having nothing on, like I said, except for soothing music and stuff, or just even nothing. Sometimes people
Exactly.
need that just complete dark,
Exactly.
where nothing, turn off all things,
Hmm.
just not saying to just go cold turkey, because it's hard for a lot of people. But
Right.
slowly take away things, start a routine, and slowly take away things that will ease you into this routine that you can get yourself into going to bed. And you
Right.
have to condition, just like you can condition yourself to do anything else, is part of a condition. Condition yourself to the point that you can get back to having a decent sleep.
Right.
Because habits are sometimes hard to break. But if you
Right.
can get yourself into a habit, as they say, as my daughter tell me all the time, it takes 21 days to form a habit. If you can get yourself into a habit of a good night's sleep,
Hmm.
then you broke the routine of the old habits that you had, and you can get back into a good routine of healthy sleeping. And
Right.
I'm not going to say it's going to completely cure your sleep paralysis, but it probably can decrease most of sleep or disorders that people have, or a lot of them. It can help at least with it.
Exactly. Exactly. And then D Love wants to know, do you think it affects your heart? Does it affect your heart?
For sure. I mean, anything that may scare you or that may upset you. I mean, if you feel like, for example, like in my situation, it definitely scared me. I felt like, as they say, the devil or the witch riding you. You feel
Mhm.
like something like a monster that's on you, that's holding you down, choking you,
Mhm.
and you can't move, and you're screaming, and nobody could hear you, and you're screaming, you're saying, "Help! I know I'm woke. I'm woke," and nobody can hear you, and it's holding you
Yeah.
down, and that definitely can trigger
Yeah.
a heart attack. So
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
it definitely can affect your heart for sure.
Yeah. Because like when I said when I was sleeping at my sister's house, I thought she could hear everything. I was like, "What?" After everything was over with, I was like, "Why you didn't help? Why you didn't help me? Did you not hear me
Hmm.
beating on this table?" She's like, "What are
Hmm.
you talking about? I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear no screaming, no nothing."
Hmm.
She didn't even know. So that's why a lot of people think, just because you thinking you're doing something
Hmm.
when you get out of that sleep paralysis, trust me, nobody could hear it. You're the only one thinking that it's happening and it's not
Hmm.
happening.
Same way with me. It was a house full of people. Nobody heard me. Two
Yeah.
floors of people. Nobody heard me. And I know in my mind, I was screaming to the top of my lungs.
Yes.
I mean, to my throat felt like it was hurting, but nobody in the house could hear me.
Hmm. And I've had multiple sleep paralysis, but that one was probably the worst one ever. That was the worst one. That's why I try not to. Um, I try to get my sleep because I think a lot of my sleep paralysis was from me not getting enough rest. Dee said, "Oh yeah, I've heard of that. A witch riding you. I've heard of that as well."
That's sleep paralysis. It's not really a witch riding you, but it's sleep paralysis. But
Mhm.
like the story that you knew read earlier, that's exactly what it is. It's you just
Yeah.
haven't got enough sleep. But it's so many stories that people, and that old wives tell. That's the devil riding you. That's a witch riding you,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. It's really in reality, it's sleep paralysis.
It's a, it's definitely scary. I tell you that much.
It's very scary. It's terrifying.
Yeah, it is very. Um, let me see something. When I saw this, when I was doing my editing, this
Mhm.
thing right here, that's exactly what I was seeing. That dark, this dark looking thing, look like a dark mass.
Mhm.
That's scary as heck.
Mhm.
I ain't gonna sit there and play. I'm serious. It was scary to see that, and that's why when I saw that, I was like, oh my god, that was just like I seen this big black glob just kind of hovering over me, and I couldn't even breathe. Like it was just sitting on my chest. It was crazy.
For sure.
So
It's
D Love, have you
crazy.
ever had sleep paralysis before? Anybody in the chat, have you ever had sleep paralysis before? Let's see. I believe I had because I have PT. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yes, and people with
That is
PTSD do suffer from my research I read, they do suffer from
yeah,
that, as well as can suffer from night terrors as well.
right. Wow. D Love, if you want, I can drop the link and if you want to talk about it, you could talk about the with the reason why you have PTSD. Um yeah. You said that not being heard wait, the not being heard but yelling for help. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's crazy cuz like you think you're awake and you're doing and you're not. You're really not awake. Like it's I don't know how to explain it. It's just you're not awake. It's like you're in your you feel like you're awake, but you're not awake because you're sitting there trying to move and scream and yelling and call for help and nobody can hear you. I mean, I could be laying next to my husband and I've had one before. And I told my husband I felt like something was just hovering over me and I couldn't like get his attention, none of thing. It's crazy. I have
Yes.
from DV. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Wow. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, D Love.
I am too. Definitely. I suffer
Yeah,
from
sorry you went through
PTSD as
that.
well, so I understand how you feel.
You also suffer from that, Sharon?
Oh yeah, I suffer from PTSD,
Oh, wow.
so I understand. But
Is that something you can talk about or no?
no, today's show.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Hmm.
The feeling of being pressed into the bed. Yes, 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 yes. I mean, it
Hmm.
feels like they're just heavy sitting on your chest. I don't know if this is considered paralysis or not, but like when I'm going to bed, like when I go to bed, have you ever I don't know if you guys have ever had it, but like I could be laying down I'm laying down, getting ready to go to bed, and I feel like this like tingly, weird sensation, like somebody's kind of hovering over me, but I'm awake. So I can get out of it. I get out of it right away. Do you guys happen to know what that could be? Does that
I
sound
don't
that
know.
sounds
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think that would
It's a weird feeling. I think I've had that one time before too, but I don't know if that's sleep
like
paralysis or
your
not. I
whole
don't know.
body tingles, but it's like there's nobody there, your body tingling, but nobody's there. It's scary, but it's not to where you can't go to sleep afterwards. You know what I'm saying? It scares you, but not where it doesn't let you get any sleep. I wonder what that is.
Like a
And I
creepy
do get
movie.
that. It could be when I go to bed late. I don't know. It could be when I go to bed late. I get it. She says, "Yep, you knew I have had that also." Wow. You haven't seen the
You
figures?
know you're picking the best
Yeah.
day to do this show.
Why?
Friday the 13th. I told you this morning.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I didn't even think about that one. Didn't think about that one. Yeah. Didn't think about that one. Hmm. But yeah, so I don't know. It's just a weird feeling. I've never been able to explain it. Like I really don't know what it is. And I get it a lot. Like it's not like a something that doesn't happen very often. It happens a lot. And I wish I knew how to explain it because even when my husband asks me, I can't even explain it to him because I can't explain it. I don't know. I just know that it's a weird feeling and it's scary, but it goes away like within seconds. But it just makes my whole body feel tingly, like somebody's sitting on top.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it creeps me out just a little bit, and then it goes away.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if it's a spirit or not, but it just feels weird.
Ew.
Yep, Friday 13. I didn't even. I literally did not associate that with today, with doing this because this is supposed to been done. Just kept having problems with the internet.
Just trying to
And
wait
I
for
was
the
like,
lucky day.
I'm doing it Friday, and then not realizing that today was Friday 13th.
Mhm.
She said
The
maybe
lucky
it's
day.
someone just visiting. It could be. It could be someone is just
Hmm.
visiting.
Yeah, family member visiting, trying to give you a
Yeah,
hug, a loved one. Mhm.
I guess. I guess that's what it could be. I don't know. All I know is
Maybe that,
that
maybe that's why you're able to just go to sleep because it's a loved one hugging you, letting you know everything is
could be.
okay.
It could be.
Maybe. So yeah, so that's basically what sleep paralysis is.
Hmm. I don't know why I see it on here, but I don't see her on the. I see her on here on my tablet, but I don't see her on my computer. Deborah.
Come on, YouTube.
Yeah, I see her
Let me
on.
see. I see her on StreamYard. Let me see. Let me go
Can
back
you
and
see
look
her
on
on your
YouTube.
StreamYard? I don't see her on my StreamYard.
I see her on StreamYard. I see
You
Deborah on
do?
StreamYard.
Hold on, let me see something. Deborah, you talking about Deborah, right?
Yes. Yes, Deborah Love. I mean, D Love. Wait a minute, D Love. Wait a minute. You said Deborah?
Yeah, it says Deborah Smith, day one. How
Oh,
are
hey,
you?
Deborah.
Yeah, I could see her
Let's
on here, but I can't see her on my computer.
see.
That's crazy. But hello, Deborah. How are you?
Oh, wait a minute. I do not see her either. Do you have her blocked or something?
I hope not. Uh, I'd have to look. Let me look on my thing. Can you keep them busy while I go look? Because I really don't think she's blocked.
Okay, okay.
Unless
Hey,
somebody else
Deborah. Yeah, I
blocked
only
her.
see her there. Hello,
Yeah, I can see
Deborah.
her on my tablet, but I don't see her in here. Let me see.
Okay. But yeah, definitely, like I say, the sleep paralysis can be um very terrifying for
Mhm.
for a lot of people. If it's best to definitely go seek medical services if
Mhm.
you're not aware of it. If this happens to you, especially if it happens more than once,
Right.
definitely find out what's going on with you. If it's something underlying, if it's medical, if it's the fact that you moved, anything, definitely see what type of help you can get. It could be just the fact that you change states. It could be just the fact that you change jobs. It could be just the fact that you change from regular school to college. It could be anything. It could be stress in your life because stress we know causes you to have hard time sleeping. It could be anything, can bring it. Definitely, seek out, let your doctor know what you're going through. You be
Mhm.
very open with your doctor so they can know, do they need to, is it important for them to do a sleep study, or do they need to do these other steps first? See if you need to, like I say, definitely write down different things to prepare yourself into a different sleep routine. We know it's
Mhm.
hard to just jump into this different sleep routine, but slowly do steps that will get yourself into a different sleep routine, because we know it takes a little bit to start a new habit,
Right.
but if you could slowly coach yourself into a new routine, it means the world. It's very important to get everything, because you do not want, God forbid, your sleep, because not being able to sleep causes other health problems. So in the long run, yes, it can cause your heart, whether it scares you or because you're having health problems, because your lack of sleep can cause other problems. It can cause weight gain. It can cause diabetes. It can cause other stuff, lack of sleep, because then you
Right.
make bad choices, you bake. So in the long run, yes, come to think of it, lack of sleep, sleep disorders do cause other health problems. So you definitely want to see about getting that taken care of.
Okay, so can you say something, Deborah, if you're still in here? Um, Deborah, if you're still in here, can you say something? Because I can see something said Deborah, but it also looked like
Okay, she may,
it was a bot.
could have been a bot. A bot? It could have been a bot. Deborah Smith, day one. I'll ask her.
I've seen her name before somewhere.
Yeah, she's a mod. She's a mod. Yeah, she's a friend of mine, so she's definitely a real person. Um, definitely. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to stay chill, but sometimes you have to work at that too. Do not let people stress you out, not let them upset you so easy.
Right.
Easier said than done a lot of times, Miss D.
Oh, I'm gonna mod her just to see if that does anything.
Okay.
I'm gonna mod her just to see. Sorry about that. I'm gonna see if I can see her on here. Because I see Leanne. Hello, Leanne. How are
So
you? Thank you for
she may
coming
have came
in
through to just say hello and
and left out.
yeah.
Okay, I modded her, so
Okay.
that way I know that that's who it is. Because if the other person is not modded,
Okay.
then it definitely, yeah. Okay, I
Mhm.
modded her, but if she does come back, at
Okay.
least we'll know it's her. Because I didn't mod the
Okay.
other person that I because that person, it says Deborah on there, but it also said Robert.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that's her or not. Um, how is everybody doing? Thank you for coming. I appreciate that. Yes, I'm talking about sleep paralysis. Have you ever had sleep paralysis, Leanne? Is there any way you can get a hold of her, Deborah? Day one?
I just sent her a message.
Yeah, because like that was weird that I could see her on my tablet, but I couldn't see her on here. That's really weird to me.
Maybe she message back in a little bit.
All right.
Hello, Leanne.
Oh, that's weird to me.
Oh yeah, and that also is hard being a narcoleptic.
Hmm.
Is that what she said? She's a narcoleptic.
She said
Am I
it's
reading
part
that
of
right?
that. Yeah, it's part of that. She said yes
Mm-hmm.
all the
Yes,
time.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Leanne, if you want to, you can come up here and talk about it if you'd like. If you'd like. No pressure. Yeah, I've had I've had sleep paralysis. It's crazy. And like I said, I wish I could explain that feeling that I get with that. I know you guys are saying it's possible that it could be a spirit to come say hi and whatever. It's just I just wish that it was more than I wish it was more than that. To see if that's what it is because it's 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 a crazy feeling. And I don't know if it's sleep paralysis or not, but I could swear that I'm awake when this is going on.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Leanne, thank you, sweetie. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. So whoever wants to come up can come up. Yeah, because I don't know who would have blocked her because she was in a block list if it's her, if that's who it is.
Hmm.
Because I don't even see her on my phone, but I see her on the chat from my tablet, which is not included in my UNU on my UNU account. It's
Yeah, I
a whole
seen her in the
different
chat just
account.
now.
You see her now?
No, I seen her in the chat when you said it. I seen her in the YouTube chat. But she
That's weird.
I forgot she's at work, so right now she may have not she may have just popped in and out because she is
Yeah.
working right now. So
'Cause I'm looking to see if I see her in here. I don't see her in here. Oh, I see her now.
hmm.
There she is. Hi, darling.
Sorry, I'm in the, if there's an echo, I'm in the bathroom. I'm in a hotel room.
That's okay.
So, this is only a private place to come.
That's okay. That's
Hey,
okay.
hello, Leanne.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Doing fine.
Good. I'm glad you came
Um,
up here. So go ahead and let us know about what happened now with the well.
well, I have sleep paralysis a lot because it's part of the narcolepsy.
Mhm.
My best suggestion or my best advice is don't try to fight it. Um, you'll learn to when it happens,
Mhm.
just to remember to tell yourself this will pass, this will pass, this will pass, this will pass.
Mhm.
I know it's hard to do that, but with practice, it does happen eventually. And but because it feels so real, it feels like somebody's breaking into your home.
Mhm.
It can sound like a swarm of bees coming towards you, or like you're floating up to the ceiling
Mhm.
and you can't move, or like you'll even might see people around your bed
Mhm.
and you can't move. You know,
Mhm.
so the best thing to do is to be like, okay, this isn't. Well, I know it'd be hard to tell the difference between uh, knowing
Mhm.
because you're asleep. So a lot of people aren't. I didn't realize a lot of people aren't lucid when they're dreaming,
Mhm.
and uh, I guess I'm a little bit more aware than I realized when I'm sleeping. So that's how I was able to do it. But then I got when I got finally diagnosed with narcolepsy about 7 years ago. Um, they put me on stimulants and stuff because that's what they use for keeping you awake, and
Mhm.
it helped with the sleep paralysis because what that is when your body is so out of whack from being so tired
Mhm.
that it's just kind of stuck in between. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it does happen with different occasions or different conditions and stuff, but um, it is really scary, and I don't wish it on anybody. I actually had a lot of a hard time dealing with it, especially when I was younger, because it's so real,
Mhm.
and we think somebody's breaking in all the time. So I had to work really hard on remembering to tell myself if I could that it was that and it would pass,
Mhm.
Um, but still, it causes a lot of emotional upset because if you have sleep paralysis, I can't say it very well, um, then whatever, because you also can have those hypnagogic dreams, which is like when you're kind of hallucinating, but you're asleep.
Right.
It's weird, I know. And that's when you could have those, like, you're dreaming, but you're also kind of just hallucinating. And it's like,
Mm.
you think you can't move. So you're going in between those states.
You're right.
And it's just because something is going on in your body where when you go to bed at night, like for instance, for myself, I go into REM, like I can go into REM like in seconds.
Wow.
And that's what causes the for me to be sleepy all the time
Mhm.
because you're not supposed to go in REM quite that quickly
Right.
and not first, you know what I mean? Because you're supposed to go through all those stages.
Yeah.
And so, but I feel a lot of empathy for anybody that goes through the sleep paralysis because it's really hard to deal with.
Yeah. So that means that you don't go through delta to REM, you just go straight REM.
Yeah, like I can actually fall asleep before I
Wow.
actually even put my head on the pillow. Um, One time I was like, when my niece was little, she came over to spend the night. And she was in the bed with me because she's little and um, didn't have anywhere else for her to sleep. And so she was talking to me, and I was putting something on my nightstand. And I remember turning around and I fell asleep for a few minutes and woke
Mhm.
up. And I tried to pretend that I was like still listening to her
Mhm.
because I felt bad for falling asleep. But
Mhm.
but the way I tried to play it off, she's like, "You fell asleep, didn't you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry," because
Wow.
it just happened so quickly that, uh, and so that's what causes the. It's hard to imagine somebody that is going into sleep all the time, being sleep
Mhm.
deprived,
Mhm.
but that's how it is. So it's like I'm always 3 days behind. And
Oh,
so when
wow.
people are dealing with the sleep paralysis, a lot of times there's something going on in their body that is like causing them to have a lot of exhaustion. There's something going on with that, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
Wow.
Sorry, I didn't
Wow.
mean to talk like just.
No. Oh, I'm learning a lot.
Yeah,
That's
no, no,
thank you
we
for
that's what
letting
we're
us
here.
know. I'm glad you
Yeah,
came up
that's
here and
why I
told us
brought
because I
yeah,
definitely didn't know that.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
I'm glad you came up here and
Um,
told us because
some people will only have it like a couple of times in their lives, and I
mhm,
have heard there's like some people think there's like spiritual like different things to it. And, there's all kinds of beliefs about that stuff. But for myself, it was just I wasn't going through the right sleep stages. So like also like if you're depressed, like extremely depressed or something, or if you have some kind of other like thing going on that can also kind of like affect the sleep stages.
mhm,
It all has to do with sleep stages, and you're getting caught between them. And the disorder I have, I can be asleep but awake. So like I
mhm,
could be talking to you and actually be asleep, but you wouldn't know. Um, the only way I would know is if I did something like put cottage cheese in the cabinet
yeah,
because it was an automatic like behavior. So
mhm,
our brains just do things all the time that kind of like make up for the well, doesn't really make up because, but
hmm
it's just one of those glitches in our brain.
yeah.
like that would be
So have
something
you
out of the ordinary, as far as putting the cottage cheese, of course, in the cabinet.
Yeah,
mhm,
and that's the only way for like for like when I was younger, I started to think I was really crazy because
mhm,
my friends would tell me about events and stuff like that I promised I would go to,
mhm,
and I said, "Did you look me in the eye and tell me?" Because sometimes people get think you're listening and you're not,
yeah,
and they said, "Yeah," and so this kept happening, and so what I was doing was having micro sleeps
mhm,
where I would sleep, but it looked like I was because it can happen so quickly. Uh, it could be a few seconds to a minute, and I may not even look like it. I'll just have my eyes blink, and I might have a head sag or something like that. But during that time period is when I was having those conversations, and so that ended up adding up to a lot of like losing a lot of friends because of that,
mhm,
because I would not know what was going on during that time.
mhm,
And so then like if my parents would leave the house, I would put the chain on the door because I was doing the automatic behavior.
Mhm.
Um, it's just parts of her brains are activated at different times. So yeah, and I do think
Wow.
it helps you. I feel like I can put myself in a trance more easy. Like I can find myself in different states
Mhm.
easier, and I think that's just because of the in between states, like the different levels of awareness.
So did they tell you why you have how you got narcolepsy?
Well, at first, I went to a neurology appointment for migraines,
Mhm.
and the neurologist said, she said, "You're falling asleep," and I said, "No, I'm not." And she says, "You're falling asleep," and I said, "No, I'm not." So we argued for a little bit, and then I got to thinking about it after I left, and I was like, "That's so bizarre." And she told me about this disorder and to think about it because I was kind of like,
Mhm.
you know, and I started thinking about it, and I was like, everything that she said made sense. Well, she took me off some medications and put me on some other ones. And she said she thought it would be too detrimental to me um, to go do the, you have to do the nighttime sleep, and then you
Mhm.
have to be there all day to do the nap
Mhm.
sleep. So I didn't do it for like 8 years because she would have to take me off my Adderall
Yeah.
and the cataplexy medication. And but finally, like a couple of summers ago, I just was like, I feel crazy. Um, I need something telling me I'm not crazy because this is so. I can wake up and 2 hours later, and like it's like I've not slept,
Yeah.
and so I'm sleeping all the time, like every couple hours, 3 hours, and I hate it. So I just was like, am I crazy or is this an actual condition?
Right.
And so I went off my medications for 3 months, which was like really hard to do.
Mhm.
And I tested, and that they checked to see how quickly during the daytime nap part they checked to see how quickly you go into REM.
Mhm.
And I told the technician lady that I loved her, and then when she left the room, I was like, out, you know. And you have to do it so many times before. Out of 5 naps, you have to. I think it's 2 or 3. I can't remember.
Mhm.
And there's these. They have those things all over your head,
Yeah.
and they could tell the. So, anyways, I did that, and then it's confirmed that way.
Mhm.
But it brought me a lot of peace of mind because for so long I felt so crazy, and I kept living in denial because
Right.
how can you be so tired? Because I remember thinking when I get older, because I was like 8, because I've had this since I was about 8,
Mhm.
and I was like, how can I go to bed at a normal time, and I would go to summer school, for instance, and sit on the
Mhm.
bus before we go in and be like, how come I'm so tired all the time? How come I'm so sleepy? And I was like, when I get older, I'm gonna get smart and like
Yeah.
figure out what I'm doing wrong here. But all that time in between 8 and growing up, you have to live some way. You have to keep going through life somehow. And so you learn to live in denial, kind of. And so that part has been kind of hard saying, okay, so I actually had this. And I've had to sit down with myself and like really reevaluate what I can and can't do
Right.
realistically because my eyes are bigger than like I want to do so much, but
Mhm.
I can't. I just can't. And so, but that sleep paralysis thing is very. I feel so bad for anybody that goes through it because I remember I would cry about it after I would get it and everything.
Right.
I mean, it's just really insane.
Yeah. Wow. That's yes. So D has a question for you. She says, "Do you also do sleepwalk? Do you sleepwalk as well, or no? You do?
Not very much, but I do. I can. I say it like it's a feat or something, but it's hard for people to understand. But I can. It doesn't happen very much anymore since I went on my Adderall and the other medications to help with
Mhm.
it. Um, but I could go from sleepwalking.
Mm-hmm.
I'd wake up from sleepwalking and be awake and then go back into it with it really quickly. And
Wow.
then I would wake up at different places and then I would have like a memory for it sometimes. It was just really strange, but I don't have that as much anymore since between because the thing is you have to take regular naps because like if I don't take the regular naps, then I
Right.
start sounding like a drunk person
Mm-hmm.
and I'll start collapsing because when you're an REM, that's what my body goes into so much. And
Wow.
so what happens when you're an REM is to sleep
Mm-hmm.
paralysis thing in order to keep your body from moving. And
Right.
so that's why when I'm moving around, I might just, I haven't fallen, but I'll have knee buckles and stuff like that. Or I might like talk like I'm drunk or lisp or just a number of things
Mm-hmm.
because REM is intruding on my wakefulness,
Yeah.
if that makes any sense.
Right. I get
So
what you're
I think I answered that, but
saying. My son, when he was younger, I don't know if he still does it, but when he was younger, he used to sleepwalk, and I don't know what was going on with that, but he used to sleepwalk when he was younger, and he would leave our door open and go back to bed. We'd wake up with the door wide open. It was scary because, like,
yes,
how do
as a
we
kid,
know?
yeah,
How do you know when somebody walks into your house if the door is nice and wide open and hey, welcome, come
yeah.
on into the house, kind of thing. And we were like, "Why would you do that?" And we found out he was sleepwalking. And they say, "Don't touch anybody when they're sleepwalking." So we basically, you have to kind of like get, I guess you can get in their way so they don't keep walking where they're going where there's danger. So you kind of like lead them, but
Yeah.
without touching them. So, and he only did that like twice. After that, he never did it again. But it was crazy because he kept leaving our doors open. We have to put the latch on to keep him from doing that
I mean,
again.
it's not funny, but it was kind of like he had this mission, right?
Yeah.
Because it was the same thing every time.
Like, he was welcoming people. Like, "No, don't do that." So but he did that twice and never did it again. Now, I don't know if he does it still, but it might be in a different way because, he was here for a while, and I haven't seen anything like that. I haven't seen him doing anything. But that was when he was younger, and it was scary because it was like, we'd wake up with our door wide open, like, "No, no, 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 no."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. The last time I remember sleepwalking, I was trying to make coffee, which I don't. I have a coffee maker, but I don't drink coffee, so I'm not sure why I was
Oh,
trying to
wow.
make coffee.
Yeah.
And then I went out the door, and the only reason I caught it, woke up was because of
It is scary.
rocks in my the
Mhm.
rocks on in my driveway.
Mhm.
That is really scary. And kids when they get those sleep, what do they call them, night terrors?
Mhm.
They can scream like like something out of a scary story.
Yeah. Definitely. Another one is, when I heard that a lot of people I heard somebody actually cooked food, woke up, and there was like this thing of food in on their stove, and they didn't even know they didn't even cook it. Like, they thought they didn't cook it, but they actually walked sleep. They're the only people in the house, but they
Yeah.
actually cooked a full meal and went to bed
Well,
and
I think
woke up
people have
with all
sex
the
when they're
different.
sleepwalking.
Wow.
That's crazy. When I heard that, I was like, "You lying to me. There ain't no way." But now it's like, I believe it. I actually do
Yeah.
believe it. Hey, Orange, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Yeah. And BJ, thank you for coming in as well. But yeah, that's something that just shocked me when I heard that. She was like, "Yeah, the food was fully cooked, sitting on the stove. She woke up and she was ready to eat." I was like, she said 'cause she went into the kitchen to cook something and everything was already cooked for her, like done. But nobody else was in the house.
That's not a bad problem to have, but yeah, if you're the only one in the house.
Can you imagine if she'd have left the food on there with the fire going? That would have burned her, could have burned
That,
everything
yeah.
down. So that's a
Yeah.
scary
I just
thing.
find the humor in all of it because if you don't, you're gonna like drive yourself crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Because there's so much risk out with all this stuff that like you just gotta laugh about things sometimes, you know?
Yeah. Shrinking Sharon, you were saying something? Some about you said somebody having sex while they're sleepwalking, or was that
No,
you?
no, I just said wow. That's all I said.
Oh, so you said that, Leanne? That having relations when they're sleepwalking or while they're sleepwalking?
Oh yeah, you can have sex when you're some people I don't I haven't. But it's a thing where they have names for all of it, but like where people sleepwalk while they're and they have sex, like
That's
it's a real thing.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't personally know anybody that has that, but like I also
Right.
don't know anybody that has what I have, so
Right.
not in real
Wow.
life anyways.
So did they tell you what that came from, the narcolepsy?
They don't really they say a lot of things like we think they know, but it's when this chemical in your brain called it starts with the O, hypoxia or something like that. Um,
Mm,
something happens to where your in your body, your body like attacks that, and you don't have very much of it, and it causes
mhm.
like all these problems. But they have also said different things like it can run in families, and I do think my dad had something like this.
Right.
We just didn't know it because honestly, like this isn't something a lot of people know about, and so um, I've been telling people about it for years, and a lot of people still don't get what it's about. So
Yeah.
you could, it's
Wow.
one of those things.
D Love say wake up pregnant and not know how. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy right
that would
there.
be scary. That would
Yeah.
be really scary.
Immaculate conception. No, bro, you actually did something and didn't even know about it. That's crazy. And thank you for smashing the like, Orange. I appreciate it. But yeah, so oh my goodness. Oh, there's a lot of things out there to talk about nowadays, huh? Yeah, she said,
Yeah,
"Oh my God, they could have burnt the house down." I didn't even see that one.
I can't see
Yeah,
the chat. Sorry.
it's okay. It's okay. That's why I was kind of reading it, but that's yeah, that's the only thing. That's yeah. Oh my goodness. But I'm trying to figure out things to talk about. That's why I was like, sleep paralysis is something like I said, been dealing with for a while now. But the main one I remembered is the 21 after working 21 hours at Popeyes when I was younger. And I was walking up the stairs and I fell down. Next thing you know, I go to lay down on the couch and
Wait. Back up for a second. You fell down. What happened?
I
Right,
fell
explain
walking
that
up
part
my
again.
stairs. I was so exhausted. I worked 21 hours. I was a shift manager. I worked in
Did
the
it kind of go
daytime.
black?
No, I literally fell down going up the stairs because my legs couldn't
Yeah.
take anything, be standing up all those hours and not getting any rest.
Well, that's very similar to the cataplexy that I was telling you about.
Mhm.
Except that you don't have to be up for that, that long for it to happen. So you
Yeah.
literally like experience the cataplexy, what I do
Mhm.
from being so that, yeah,
Being up so long. Yeah.
that's what
And then when I
happens.
went and laid down on her couch, I was sitting there beating on the table, at least I thought I was. I was having a sleep paralysis. I'm sitting there thinking I'm in my head, of course, I'm beating the table. I'm beating, I'm screaming, I'm hollering, I'm calling for help. I see this big black blob over my body and there's nothing I can do. And I'm sitting there, like I
Yeah.
said, I was beating on the table. And then when I did get out of it, I was like, "Did you not hear me calling for you?" She's like, "What are you talking about? I didn't hear no screaming. I didn't hear you beating on anything." And I was
Yeah.
trying to find out why she didn't come, but she said she heard nothing. And then I heard about the sleep paralysis, and I was like, "That's what I went through." At the time, I didn't know what it was
Yeah.
called. Now I know what it's called, and it's crazy.
Um, yeah, you feel like you're screaming. You can't actually form words, but in your head, but when you're trying to talk, it's like you're screaming,
Mhm.
and the terror that you can feel from that is very real. Like it's bad. I can't tell you. It used to be on a nightly, multiple times a night type thing. Like I'll also be in a sleep paralysis and then start floating up to the ceiling. So like
Mhm.
I'll dream, like I'll have dream fragments in my
Mhm.
sleep paralysis. So then I'll start floating up to the ceiling, but then I'll be back down and I can't move. I even feel my eyes going, like that. And but I feel for you because I'm not gonna lie, I remember that was a pretty tough time because when I was younger, especially, it was hard because when you're younger, you don't know what's happening,
Yeah.
and they tell you that what you experience during sleep paralysis is more more realistic than like nightmares.
Mhm.
It's like it's a real. It feels like it's almost real, if that makes sense. Like it's really
Yeah.
happening,
Yeah.
and so there's a lot of emotions going on with that too. Yeah, I feel bad for you. I don't want to. I don't have them as much anymore, but when I do, I'm like,
Yeah.
I forgot how bad that was, you know?
Yeah. Well, the other thing is I have is I can't explain it. I really don't know how to explain it. I get it a lot at nighttime, like when I go to bed and I'm laying down. I feel like somebody's hovering over me all the time. But I'm not sleeping, but I can feel all that tingling, like somebody's hovering over
Well,
me.
we have different things that our bodies do that I don't think we always realize what they're doing or
Mhm.
why. But, there's different levels before you go into sleep. If you're normal, you'll go into like a light sleep, stage one, all that stuff. So you're going
Mhm.
into different like degrees of awareness and trances and stuff like that. And so there's like degrees of it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so you may have been in both
He left
places, if that
says,
makes sense.
does the medication help any?
Um, well, it's really just like a band-aid because there's nothing they can do. So in order for me to live my normal life, I have to take something for the cataplexy, and then I take two different things to keep me
Mhm.
alert to function, so that I don't
Mhm.
have to sleep like all the time. So I can go and maybe do something for a little bit and then be back and take a nap. But I'm complaining about it now, but if I had to go with that medication, I'd be miserable. So
Yeah.
just right now, it doesn't feel like it does because I'm sleepy. So
Yeah.
um, it does.
Wow. I
At
don't know
least
how.
until the
So do
best
you
thing
drive? Are you able to drive with even with the medication? You are?
I do, but I do it to where I take naps first and I pull over
Mhm.
if I start feeling any kind of way. I don't go into a straight like I've never had any kind of incident behind the wheel, but to
No.
prevent that,
Good.
I only allow myself to go so far, and I
Mhm.
take naps and stuff like that. When I got guardianship of my niece and nephew, I did have to do a lot of driving for a while, and then I said, you know what,
Wow.
um, I'm scared. I don't because my niece has cerebral palsy, and so she had a lot of doctor's
Mhm.
appointments, and insurance will only cover so many of those. It's so difficult to get any kind of help with stuff like that, and I didn't really have a choice. There was nobody else. And so,
Yeah.
um, but I got to the point where it's like, okay, I'm scared that something's going to happen. And said, we've got to figure something else out. So, I've made that step so that I'm not doing any long distances anymore, just because as I've gotten older, it feels like it's worse, but it just might be
Yeah.
because I'm older. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Wow.
Yeah, because like I'm surprised that the doctor didn't say, "Look, I know you're taking medication, but
No
because you're
driving.
just
Yeah.
falling asleep left and right, you should be right. They should restrict you from driving because that's a scary thing."
Yeah. I don't know. I've never had an incident though. So, but I do get drowsy. So what happens is I'll pull over. I hate doing it because to be honest, I'm scared of, I mean, like, you know how many people are getting killed on the side of the highway and stuff like that, but like, I don't have any other choice. So
Right.
I can't live with myself if I hurt somebody. So I wouldn't do it
Right.
if I didn't. The only time I did was when I had guardianship of my niece for a little bit of time until we got things uh, straightened out because
Mhm.
we had to get her stuff and my stuff like to where we could kind of like vibe together to get things taken care of, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so, I don't anymore. So
Sharon, do you have any questions?
I don't. You pretty much covered a lot of things. I just wanted to. I learned a lot just listening. You know,
I
I've learned
know,
a
for
lot that I
real.
never knew about narcolepsy. Just listening,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
I never knew these
And
things. You know, like I said, I knew that. Go ahead.
I'm
Go
sorry. I
ahead.
was just
I'm
gonna say
sorry.
I think it goes really underdiagnosed. It is
Mm-hmm.
rare. They say 1 in 2,000,
mm,
but because of how rare
Wow,
it
that's very
is so
underdiagnosed.
undiagnosed. Yeah.
right. Wow. I did not know it was that,
It's,
that
Might
amount
need
of
to just
people.
do a show on narcolepsy seriously because
yeah.
it's a
Right.
lot.
Yeah, it
Just
is.
on your
Um,
condition. Wow, I like to research and learn more on that. I mean, you I've learned a lot just listening to you. Like I said, this
Yeah.
is very insightful.
Yes,
um,
definitely.
well, one other thing is that it took me a lot of years before I realized because because I would get really like depressed and like just like when you're sleepy and you haven't been sleeping and you're like you're not there and you're just kind of like depressed. Your moods might change and stuff like that. But that's not who I
Mm-hmm.
am normally. So like I'm normally a very go happy person.
You
And
get kind of
but if I
snappy.
get yes, but if I get sleepy and I don't get to my nap, I get snappy and stuff. And so I remember talking to a therapist one time because the sleep paralysis stuff was it gets to you. And
Yeah.
I said, it's funny because I go I get depressed all of a sudden and this and that. And all of a sudden I'll go take a nap and I'll wake up and I'll just be myself again. And I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. This was around the time that neurologist, I had been seeing that neurologist. And so
Hmm.
that was, so like if anybody ever sees me grouchy or not myself, it's not that, I swear. It's just that you could be so tired at a certain point that you're like, you could get your, it's a
Turn into
survival
another person.
mechanism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like the
Yeah,
Snickers commercial,
I've
I
done that
guess.
when especially when my older two were younger. I really seriously needed a nap. I was like, listen,
Yeah.
to my husband, hey, watch these children because I'm gonna be done hurt somebody. Try to get
Yeah.
me at least give me a. I got to go take a. I know you've done that probably before. You knew. Come get these kids. I need to give me a quick power nap or
Yeah.
something because I'm gonna hurt somebody. Something, or whatever, especially when you're just going. If you don't get that power nap,
Mhm.
you be
Hmm.
the turn to somebody you don't want to be. Let me get this quick 30 minutes or this quick 20-minute power
Yeah.
nap. And then you just like, oh,
Ah,
all
And
right,
the
I
people
just
that
need
know
to give me a little bit of
me,
rest.
and the people that know me, they know I'm just like
Hmm.
goofy and like laugh, like to laugh and stuff. So when they see
hmm.
me, that I'm like
Hmm.
this, and then I've got this like
Hmm.
I don't care kind of thing. And
Yeah.
it's also part of the cataplexy because the cataplexy, the REM that intrudes on your wakefulness, where you fall
Hmm.
down, what you
Hmm.
were talking about earlier.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so what happens is emotions can trigger it. So like if I get really happy, mostly if I'm laughing really hard, I'll collapse. And or if I get upset, like now emotions or an orgasm will like cause that to happen. So I don't know why that's connected, but it is. It will trigger your REM like process where you'll kind of experience the cataplexy. And so I've learned to part of, okay, so it's like a lot, I'm sorry.
It's
Um,
okay. It's okay. Take your time.
so when people are like joking around and I'm just like laughing hysterically, I literally I have to stop because if I don't, I'm gonna fall down and just go into a cataplexy event
Hmm.
where I just fall or I might like my knees will buckle. I'll lose this any kind of strength I have in my
Hmm.
arms or my body, and or if I get really upset, and so I don't know. It's not like psychologically based or anything. So I'm not sure why that triggers that, but
Mhm.
it happens other times, like it intrudes. But something that will also trigger it is extreme emotions. So,
Mhm.
but mostly laughing. um,
Okay.
Wow.
so like if you find yourself laughing and you're on the floor, something's up, you know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But you
Wow.
still gotta laugh
Oh,
because
It's
yeah,
funny.
yeah. I mean, you gotta
so
live life, you know. You can't just
right. You can't live just not.
comfortable.
Yeah, because I'm always laughing, so I don't know how I would do without being able to laugh. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's probably
yeah.
why God didn't give it to me because He knows I'd be laughing at myself.
Oh, see, I laugh all the time at the things I do because sometimes I can't. I don't know, but it's more when it's triggered. It's more the like laughing so hard you can't breathe,
Yes,
and that's when it happens to me. So if I'm just like like this or whatever, it's not
that's
gonna
right.
happen. But I don't always know though. So yeah,
I laugh into oblivious, like I mean, cramping, laughing and cramping, and
yeah.
not being able to
Mm-mm.
stop. And it feels like I've been doing about 100 sit-ups. So I'm sitting there going, "Oh Jesus, please stop the pain, because I can't stop laughing, and I can't.
Oh,
It
see,
just it doesn't stop."
when I get really tired though, I get slap happy too. And
Mhm.
so I'll laugh about anything. And so
Mhm.
like I'm here at like my niece is getting ready to graduate college, so I'm in a hotel room. I came a little bit ahead because of
Oh,
the delay.
congratulations to your
Congrats.
niece.
Yes,
Yeah,
congrats.
yeah, she has cerebral palsy and she lived on campus, so it's a big. She
Oh
did really
wow.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
So like I had her
congratulations.
over in the hotel room last night, and I was like, it's like almost 9 o'clock at night, and I was like, I have to take a nap because I was being so like goofy, and I couldn't
Mhm.
do anything else, until I did. Then I go lay down and she's like, take your nap. And I'm like, okay. So I start laughing for no reason, just because that's how tired I was. But I can't apologize for that. I know it makes me sound crazy and goofy, but like,
Mhm.
just sometimes you gotta laugh. It just happens. So,
Yeah. My
and
friend
then you
used to
might
tell
see
me
me
that
doing
all the
weird
time.
stuff.
My friend used to tell me that all the time. Just go to bed. You always got to be laughing at everything. I'm like, I'm tired as heck, but I'm sitting there trying to stay up, and everything is funny.
Yeah.
Literally
Well, I'm
everything is
usually the
funny.
first person asleep in the room. So,
Yeah, yeah. And then you start talking out your head, so you're like sitting there going,
yeah, but I do all the
Just
time. Oh
talking
my gosh.
crazy talk because
Even
you
when
know
I'm
you're just
not,
tired.
yes,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, it sounds like you're talking out of your head though, because
yeah.
you
You're
forget
mumbling.
words.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you might slur a little bit. I do,
Mhm,
and
mhm,
then you start just like staring at his face, or kind of just like taking longer to do everything. And my family, and my niece and nephew, the ones I have guardianship of, they got really good at like, hey, I think you need to take a nap, because me, I'm like a 5-year-old that does not want to take a nap because it sucks. You want to
because
be
you
able to
think you're
stay
gonna miss
awake and like,
something.
yeah,
Mhm.
because I sleep every 2 or 3 hours. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't get to do anything. It's not fun,
Heck, a lot of
you
us
know?
do that. Be on like even you're on social media.
Mhm. You don't want to
Say
sleep
what?
because you're gonna miss something.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't get to, like, it's
Mhm.
not enough time to even do my chores or before it's time to do a nap again. So it's just like, it's a struggle. But anyways,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a 5-year-old, don't want to do it just because, and so I fight it, and I'm like, I stay awake. Then I got, like, I look like I'm high, and
Mhm.
the kids, they're like, you look like you're high. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just tired and sleepy.
Yeah.
And I should just give
Um.
in and go take the nap so I can function normally. But
Yeah. D Love said congratulations to your niece. I didn't want to forget to tell you what she said.
thank you, D-Love. Thank you all for
She's
saying
such
that.
a
She's
sweetheart. Yeah, she's a
she's such a
sweetheart.
sweetheart.
She is.
I got guardianship of them because they were in a bad situation, and they've come so far. They've done really well for themselves.
Mhm.
I'm really proud of them. this is my niece's graduation, but she has a brother that's 2 years younger. So
Yeah. Wow. That's
she's already
awesome.
got speaking engagements lined up because she does um, work for. She's got a job where she's worked for people that have been boys that were sex trafficked.
Mm-hmm.
They have a safe
Oh,
house in a few different places. Yeah, and
Wow.
so she's going to be the person that most places that recover people from sex trafficking don't
Mm-hmm.
have any kind of disability. Like if they have a disability, they don't know how to treat it or the overall person because they don't know about I mean, like that's just not part of. Like if you do research, you don't see children that have been sex trafficked that are handicapped, but it happens. And so
Yeah.
there's not the
Wow.
treatment part either, and so that's what she'll be doing.
Wow.
oh wow.
D Love says give yourself credit also, Leanne.
Yes, yes, you're
Thank
doing being
you.
a great auntie mom.
Yes.
You're doing a
I'm
wonderful
trying,
job.
but it just, I just sometimes it feels like I'm just very barely maintaining.
Mm-hmm.
But I think about how her mom was, and I'm like, I can't be. I'm still better than that because I'm not hurting them. I'm not. They have. It's always been a safe place. They got their medical treatment. They actually got better medical treatment, and they just all kinds of things. But it's been a struggle, and but sometimes I feel like how are you gonna do it? But
You're gonna do
Right.
it.
it always works
You're gonna
out.
do it. Just like she said, give yourself credit. You got this.
Right. And they made it this far. I mean, she's graduating. Look, that
Yes.
alone, you've done a
Yeah,
wonderful job.
Yeah.
Pat yourself on the
yeah.
back. You're phenomenal.
Yes.
Thank
Awesome.
you. I just wanted to say I really relate. I really feel bad that you guys go through it because were you having that too? Shaking Sharon?
Pardon me? I'm
Were you
sorry.
also
What'd you
having
say?
sleep paralysis?
Talking about the sleep paralysis.
No, I had it one time. I had sleep paralysis one time. Um, that probably was just from being tired and exhausting. Like I said, I was traveling,
Yeah.
and the time I got to my sister's house, that probably was like the next day after I got there. That's when that incident happened with me. But that's the only time. I think I had it at a time before, maybe 2 times in my life I've had that happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really suffer from it. The most thing that's happened in my family is my daughter had night terrors growing up. And
Yeah.
that was a nightmare in itself, the night terrors. Oh my goodness. That's like
Yeah.
That's
having
what I was saying
a
earlier.
seizure. Mhm.
Because that screaming, did she scream with it too?
Yes, she did. She did. And there was
Yeah.
nothing, that you could do about when the person's having night terrors. It's almost like a
Right.
seizure.
Yeah.
You have to watch them. Only thing you can do is comfort them, move stuff out their way. You definitely
Wow.
can't wake them. It's like watching the person sleepwalk. Don't wake them,
Yeah. Yeah.
and stuff. Just, and stuff because you're starting them. You can scare them. You can do anything. You can hurt yourself or
Mm-hmm.
hurt them, waking them up.
They could
So,
swing at you, and you don't
so
know which way they're gonna swing.
exactly, exactly. So I went through that with my oldest daughter. She went with that
Wow.
through that for years, night terrors, and we had to do sleep
That look in
studies
their
and everything
eye,
like that. Pardon me?
that look in their eye that they have too is
Mm-hmm.
pretty scary too. Because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if everybody does that, but I remember my brother had them, and he would be pointing at something like outside the window, and his eyes would be wide open, and it was just like petrifying
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yes, it was.
because
It
it almost
was. And
makes you
she
think they
started
do
at a
see
very young
something.
age. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
D Love says, yep, you got this, Leanne. Be kind to yourself.
I
Yes.
try, but it's just sometimes I think it's the only way I've learned to like try to do better. Is to kind of be hard on myself.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I feel like I'm not doing something better. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I get
Right.
that.
I have to try to find something to do different with that, but it's worked this far. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I I actually have to go, but
Okay.
I really enjoyed meeting you, Leanne.
me too.
Definitely, we need to do this again. We definitely do.
Yes.
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And I definitely look forward to learning more about your condition because it's very interesting and
Yeah.
stuff. I learned a lot about what you're going through, and I pray that more people find out about this so that there can be more improvements and
Yeah.
more people finding out about this so there can be more research on what's it's because
Yeah. Some
you
way
know
to
what I'm saying,
resolve
so
it
that there could
too.
be more doctors, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, more treatments for it,
Mhm.
out there because
That's that. You know
it
what? That
definitely
makes me
need to
feel
be.
really good because uh, I've actually never had anybody say that. I don't even know anybody that has it in real life, and it's people don't understand it. So
Yeah.
thank you for that because that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Yes, thank
Definitely.
God for YouTube because getting your story out there, especially spreading it to more people.
Mhm.
Somebody will hear it and it'll get bigger and bigger, and it'll get out there, and a doctor will see it, and
Yeah.
maybe I'll speak to it to some of my friends that's in the medical
Mhm.
profession, and maybe they could tell me more stuff about it too, as well
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
and stuff, and I could and I know you probably got friends and stuff too, and we could network and kind of see what what I'm saying, get your
Mhm.
story out there more or give more story about it so
Mhm.
people could get more help out there for that because it's horrible to see people
Yeah.
not having more eyes on this so that we can get more funding, more help out there for people to
Right. Right.
go through, what I'm trying to say. I'm not
Yeah.
forming it like
That
I want
really
to
does.
say it.
No, I get what you're saying. I get what
That really
Mhm.
does mean you have no idea because I am a big advocate. I advocate for my niece because she has this, cerebral palsy. But this is something
Mhm.
when people see me, they might think I'm on drugs because I look so tired or just a number of things, you know. And
you're saying.
Mhm.
so I appreciate that is all I'm getting
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
Oh, we appreciate you for being brave to come on here and to tell your story. Because a lot of
Definitely.
people, would not even be brave to come on here to tell their story. And we really
Yeah.
appreciate you, Leanne, coming on here and sharing your story because you didn't have to. You could have
Yeah.
just said, oh, no, I'll tell you later, or I'll just, I want to share publicly. And so we really thank you and appreciate you coming on here sharing your
Definitely.
story with us because you didn't have
Definitely.
to. And the fact
Uh.
that you
Thank you so
chose
much.
to.
Yeah. D Love said, "Thank you, Shrinking Sharon," and then she also said,
Well,
"Leanne,
thank
thank you
you,
for
Dina.
sharing." Lo siento. I guess I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. I really thought you were kidding before when you said that, but obviously
No,
not.
no, I know. I do joke. I do make jokes when I'm talking about it just because it's funny, okay? Because some of the things, like the way you have to live your life and do, like it
Mhm.
does make sense. It is funny, kind of. I mean, okay, well, I don't know if it is always funny, but I find a lot of things funny. So if I say it kind of nonchalantly, it's because it's so bizarre that I'm goofy that
Mhm.
a lot of things sound kind of funny, if that makes sense.
No, I get what you're saying.
So I don't blame you for not
Mhm.
believing me because I do kind of make
Yeah.
jokes about it a lot.
She also said, "Yep,
And I
Leanne.
understand
Thank you
it's
for being brave."
I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
what?
No, she was Leanne said, "Thank you for being brave." To you. Not Leanne. I'm sorry. D Love said,
Thank
"Thank you for being brave." I said it backwards. Sorry.
you. I was like, maybe there's another Leanne, but I don't know.
No, not Leanne. No, I'm saying she said it to you.
Thank you, Ela.
okay. I'm so on that note, I got to go. Have a good day.
All right. Bye, babe.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you for coming,
Bye
sweetie.
bye. Bye.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you
And
for having me.
you're welcome, sweetie. See you soon. Um, Lorraine says, "I have an ex brother-in-law that burns up lots of pots and pans and food. My middle daughter has it also. Do you think it's genetic?" Gene-
Sleepwalking? I
she
think it
said
is.
in the genes. Is it in the genes? In genetics?
Uh, you mean just sleepwalking?
Are you talking about sleepwalking or are you talking about the um oh my goodness. What is that you say? Yeah, yeah. Just
Oh, narcolepsy.
narcolepsy. I couldn't even get the word out. It just sometimes words don't come out of my mouth at all. Yeah, are you talking about the narcolepsy, Lorraine? And you could come up here too if you want. I can drop the link.
If it's the sleepwalking, I think any of that almost can have I would think a genetic
Mhm.
predisposition, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody, sometimes I think it takes like an illness to kind of like activate it, you know. So,
I should do one on sleepwalking because I haven't seen anything on sleepwalking other than that it does happen. But I wonder if there's reasons behind sleepwalking. Like, are you tired? Or are you, did you have a dream that made you get up and start walking? I mean, there's a lot of things about sleepwalking that I don't know that I might need to learn about.
I was laughing because I caught myself sleepwalking one time. I was putting my comforter on the corner, where my desk is against the wall,
Mhm.
because there were spiders everywhere. And I thought, I'm going to get my comforter off the ground or off the bed and not ground so it'll be safe on the, dream logic, right?
Yeah.
And I woke up and I'm like, what am I doing? And I remember the dream. Uh, I don't like spider dreams.
I don't like spiders, period. And
But
living
I
in the
think they're,
country, that's all we have is spiders. I don't understand it, but that's what it is. Spiders everywhere. What were you gonna say?
oh, I don't remember now.
Oh.
Sorry.
You have that same thing I have where you if you don't say it right away, you forget it?
Yeah, it's also, I think it's called, I don't know, my family tells me yeah, basically.
Yeah. I wonder if it's
Sorry.
some kind of medical thing that they can I don't know, because like, I could literally walk in my room and forget what I went to go get in my room. Like, what was I supposed to go
I
get
don't
out of my
know.
room?
I assume that mine's because of the level of
The
tiredness
narcolepsy?
I always am,
Yeah.
but I've always been this way too, so I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, that's like, I don't know. I get that. And that's why I did that quick little video with the little child, like you walking into your room and you forget what the heck you went to get in that room for. I
Yeah,
do that a
I do
lot.
that a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I
And
wonder if
I
that's
think I
another thing. Go ahead.
uh, sleep memory or
Yeah, the memory, like you forget what you went to go get, to get from your room or whatever. Is that
it's not just
everybody?
that. I think it just I think everybody has that to a certain degree, but I think it depends on what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
Okay, if not, that's what I'm telling myself to make myself feel better because I forget conversations a lot. So I have to really like post-it notes are my friend.
I have that too. I should write it down, but I forget. I don't write it down, but I should start doing it. I was like, wait, 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 wait. Before you say anything else, let me say what I got to say because I'll forget. I have to do that. I have to stop them in the middle of their conversation.
Yeah. And my family's been good with me on well the kids have been
Hmm.
um because they know that it's not something I can control.
Yeah.
So,
D Love should come
sure.
up here and talk to us. She says I do that also. And then she started laughing at what you just said because you were like, I don't know. Oh, well, yeah, that's because of me.
Yeah.
She said I have
I just
wall post-it notes literally. She posts literally, she puts the little post-it notes.
I have to change the color of the post-it because I have a system, and if I don't change up how I do it, then it will become part of the background.
Hmm.
So I have to change the color of it because the color will attract my attention.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
So
I have
take
to
your
change
mind
that
off
up a
what you're
lot.
actually doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I need to start writing it down because I have to like literally wait, 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 wait before you say anything else. I'm not being rude, but I just want to say this, and that's what I do. And they're like, "Wait, but I have to finish." No, wait, wait, wait. Let me tell you what. Never mind. I forgot what I was going to say. Go ahead. That's what I usually do.
Yeah. I know. I feel bad for, when I
I
interrupt
do.
people.
Yeah, same here.
And I've learned to say sorry, like, because because it has been a problem. But I've
Mhm.
never done it. Like a lot of people do it as a form of control.
Mhm.
I just don't have any impulse. I have impulse control. I need to stop saying that.
Yeah.
I have it. I just with some things like talking,
Mhm.
interrupting. Um, it's not a control thing. It's just more of I have limited time and memory
Yes.
thing, like you were saying.
Yes,
But
definitely.
I've worked really hard on saying sorry. So like, and another thing is if I forget things a lot, uh, I've had to accept that my memory sucks
Mhm.
and say sorry a lot to other people. But the
Mhm.
tricky thing is there's times where I'm pretty sure I remember things being like accurately. So then I always have this fear of things being like a mind game, like a war, because
Mhm.
sometimes people will know that if you have a really bad memory and they know that you'll apologize because you know that you do and that you admit it,
Yeah.
they can like use that against you and not take their own responsibility in things. So
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like I'm being fleeced
Yeah.
because I
Well,
have a
but
sucky memory. Would I know? No. So,
I think mine started when I had the heat stroke.
oh yeah, that
Yeah,
would
my
make
memory is
yeah.
like gone, gone. Like there's a lot of
Wow.
things in my memory that in my past that I don't remember. I could sit here and have a conversation with you 1 minute, and if it's not something that we've spoken about before, it'll just be like gone. I won't even remember we had that discussion. I know we had a
Yeah, that,
discussion, but what we talked about would be like gone.
I don't know. I think it depends too of how awake I am at the time, but I remember this time period for like a year in high school.
Mhm.
My sophomore year, I had a photographic memory. I
Mhm.
don't know why it only lasted a year that during that time period, but I would be able to like take tests and remember the page number and the paragraph. I would be able to tell you word for
Oh,
word.
wow, that's good.
And I don't know what made that happen to where I was doing able to do that all of a sudden. And then all of a sudden it went away, like after about a year. I got
Mhm.
good grades that year.
Yeah.
But that's one of the weird things about memory is like how can you go from having a sucky butt memory, but like to doing that and then going back? Like it's just so
Right.
weird what our bodies do.
Yeah. Yeah, because when I was younger, before I had I'm not gonna say because when I was younger, but when before I had my heat stroke, I can actually remember numbers like all I have to do is say it twice and it's in my head and it doesn't go anywhere. Now,
Right.
heck to the no, I can't even get it like to hold on for nothing. I have to write it down and make sure that it's put down on a paper and I see it right in front of me or else I will forget it. And that's what, you know, heat strokes is no joke. Like they a
No,
lot
it's
of people
not. I
think
saw my brother had one and I was like so frightened. Did you have cramps everywhere?
well, when it happened to me, I got I ended up in the hospital within 5 minutes they took me to the emergency room. My eyes were flipping on the side of my like going to the back of my head and I couldn't put words together. Um they just told me they were like, "You want to go to the hospital?" I was like, "No, I'm good. I'm good." And they were like, "Yeah, you're going." They put me in an ambulance and took me straight to the hospital. What
Wow.
happened was my husband's truck had a fuse that went out and it shut the whole truck down in Arizona of a hot day. It was like
Yeah.
112 degrees. My body wasn't used to that, and plus I was on a what I called a diet. When I learned my diets are not diets; they're actually killing me because I would drink tea. I wouldn't eat anything. I would just drink tea or water, and that was it. But at that time, I didn't have water at the. We didn't get to the store because I was trying not to go out of the car for Arizona, and I had some tea, and
Yeah.
I was drinking tea, and I would go to the bathroom,
Dehydrated.
but I would be able to go to the bathroom, but I wasn't like, you know, I wasn't keeping food down or anything because that's just how my body does. And next thing you know, the truck breaks down, and not breaks down, but the fuse went out, which at that time I thought it was a breakdown. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I go out there trying to fix it and keep my kids in the car where the air conditioner is in, where the air conditioner was on. But at the same time, I'm in the heat, and I mean, I'm literally about to pass out. And my eyes were flipping in the back of my head. They took me to the emergency room. My son asked the doctor, "Is my mom gonna be okay?" And he said, "We're gonna do our best." That's all he could tell him, because my potassium level dropped to almost zero, right at zero,
Yeah,
like right at
that's bad.
yeah, yeah. And they just all they could say is, "We're gonna do our best."
Yeah. How old
That's
were your
all they
kids
could
at the
say.
time?
Huh?
How old were your kids at the time?
They were little ones. They were little. They
Oh,
were young kids.
oh, they had to be
My oldest
scared.
one was probably right at 10, maybe 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
And that when my little one asked the doctor, "Is my mommy gonna be okay?" The doctor says what he said, and I was like, "Did he really say that?" Yeah,
Yeah.
he said, "Yeah, we're gonna do our best," because they didn't think I was
I'm
gonna make it.
surprised the nurses didn't like somebody
Oh,
didn't step in and just you know what I mean?
oh, they took the kids, all of the kids, put them in a hotel room, gave them pizza, gave them
Oh,
Burger King and McDonald's because they each got whatever
wow.
they wanted, and they fed my kids until the till that early in the morning when I got out. But they had me on IV for from 5 to 4 in the morning.
Yeah, I'm sure they're giving you
5 in the
potassium
evening to
too.
5 in the morning. Yeah, they had to keep IVs going the whole time. It was crazy. But
Yeah.
you know, it's crazy that I could remember that. But like a lot of the stuff after that, it was just that's when everything went down the drain with my memory.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, like there's this event that happened and it affected it basically just rewired parts of your
Yeah,
brain.
yeah.
That's kind of like what my niece when she was learning. Well, some people when they're born with CP don't ever walk, but
Mhm.
usually if they're going to continue to walk, they'll walk by the time they're 4. And you
Yeah.
know how people normally learn to walk? Well, she had to rewire her brain to walk differently because her brain has that pinpoint of brain damage. And I'm not saying you have brain damage. I'm just saying there was this event that happened that affected it, and our brains and our bodies can only take so much before you know it altered it. I think you know what I mean.
Oh wow, it's pouring down out there out of nowhere. I'm surprised my internet hasn't gone out. It just got dark and then it's pouring down outside.
Well, I better get off of here because I actually was supposed to be taking a
Okay.
nap about 20 minutes
Oh yeah,
ago, and
you
I was
should
like,
definitely.
they were talking about sleep, and I remember I feel like I remember one of you guys mentioning this before, and I just feel really bad for anybody that goes through it because it's really hard to go through. So,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
definitely.
anyways, thank you for letting me talk about
Oh,
everything,
of
and
course. Anytime I'm here, open panel. You're open.
so I'm gonna go take
You
that
always
nap because I was watching you,
definitely.
and then I was like, oh. All
All
right, I'll
right. I
talk to you
appreciate
later.
you coming up here, babe. All right. Have a
Bye.
good day. Bye, sweetie.
You too.
All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. I've been on here for almost 2 hours, but I do want to say, give you guys an outro. We had the intro. Now we're going to do the outro. Let me pull it up. All right. Thank you for coming, D Love. Thank you for hanging in for that length of time. I appreciate you for coming. And you guys have a wonderful day. Bye, y'all. You're welcome, D Love. Thank you for staying so long. Appreciate you. Thank you, Leanne, for coming up. Thank you, Miss Shrinking Sharon. Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all. Bye.
You knew. 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 You know that I know you knew. You know that I know you knew. You know that I know you knew. You know.